Hi guys, we're going to go ahead and get you started with your second tune in this video here, Scots Wa Hae. A lot of pipers remember this as the first tune that they ever started with. And it's a pretty simple tune. We're going to start with a slow version and then move you up to a quicker version. And it's going to employ all the pieces of technique that we've looked at so far. So G grace notes, strikes, high G doublings, and D throws. So I want to go ahead and take a look at the music here first and make you familiar with all those pieces of technique, where they show up. And then we'll go ahead and get started with the recording with the metronome. All right, so in the first line here, you can see that we really just have G grace notes and a couple D throws. In the second line, again, G grace notes, D throw there in the second bar. And I want to point out to you this low G strike in the second to last bar of the second line here. So when we looked at strikes before, we were looking at low G strikes where we would end on the same note that we started on. In this case, we're going to be ending on a different note. So we're starting on B, doing the strike, and ending up on low A. So I want to go ahead and demonstrate that for you since we didn't look at that in the previous strike video. So the way that's going to look is like this. Okay? And with the rhythm there going into the following bar, that whole section would look like this. Okay. You'll also notice something that we haven't looked at before yet either, which is this tie over the dotted quarter note tied to a plain quarter note there. So what that tie is going to do is it's going to join those two notes together. So those note values are going to be combined into one. So altogether, when we're clicking the eighth note, that tied low A is going to add up to 5 clicks, okay, of the eighth note, because it's equivalent of 5 eighth notes there. 3 for the dotted quarter and 2 for the plain quarter note. Moving along to the third line here, we do have some strikes. So in the first bar of the third line, we have a strike on F. In the third bar of the third line, we have a strike on E. And then in the last bar of the line, we have a high G doubling. Okay, and then in the last line of the tune, we pretty much just have high G grace notes, D throws, and finally ending on another tied note there. So I'm going to start with a slow version of the tune, playing at 60 beats per minute, doing 1 click per eighth note. And then I'll do a quicker version, more up to speed, where we'll be counting the dotted quarter note. So 1 click for every 3 eighth notes. So let me go ahead and do the slow version for you now. Okay, so hopefully you benefited from the fact that we really slowed that down, doing 1 metronome click for every eighth note. And it makes it a lot easier to keep track of the tempo and the rhythm there, knowing that for every quarter note, you have 2 clicks. For every eighth note, you have 1 click. And then for every dotted quarter note, you have 3 clicks that you're going to wait for until you go on to the next note. Okay, so that being said, let me go ahead and show you how this would be played up to speed. So we're going to bring the metronome down to 40 beats per minute because we're going to be counting 1 click for every dotted quarter. Okay, and let me show you what that sounds like. All right, guys, so that was a pretty big jump there, going from 60 beats per minute counting the 8th note to 40 beats per minute counting the dotted quarter. So what I would recommend that you do on your own time and in your own practice is bump up the 60 beats per minute with the 8th note incrementally by 5 beats per minute or even 10 beats per minute at a time to slowly work your way up to, it would be 120 actually if you're counting the 8th note at full speed. Okay, so start at the 60 and then work your way up slowly from there before trying at the 40 or 120 with the metronome. Okay, so hope that works for you. Good luck, and I'll see you in the next video.